What's going on, and welcome back. So, this past Sunday, I completed or played through Resident Evil 4, and I gotta say, what a wonderful, stressful game that is. But we'll get to that here in a second. So, what I want to talk about is just the whole Resident Evil series. Not the whole series, but my introduction to survival horror, because I've talked about this before, but it's been a while. I remember sitting at home, and it was a cold, rainy day. I know, but that's the kind of day it was. Cold and rainy. My mom asked me if I wanted to go to Walmart because she needed to go get some stuff, and I didn't know at the time that it was income tax season. So she had just got her income tax check, and she asked me if I wanted to go with her, and then if I went with her, she'd give me anything I wanted. So at the time, I was playing a lot of Super Nintendo because that's the only console that I had. So we go to Walmart, and she was like, get whatever you want. I'll pick something out and I'll get it for you. So I thought, it was time for a new game system. So I picked up the PlayStation, and I didn't have any games for it. So she got me the PlayStation. She got me 2 games to go with it. I got Tomb Raider and Resident Evil 2. I'd never heard of the term survival horror ever. I just remember seeing this game on commercials and stuff on TV, and I thought it looked pretty cool. So I get home and hook up the PlayStation, start playing Tomb Raider, because I'm completely new to the whole 3D gaming thing, right? So I'm trying to get used to playing a game in 3D and playing Tomb Raider, and I'm thinking, this is amazing. These are graphics I've never seen before. So I played a little bit of Tomb Raider, and then I decided to put in Resident Evil 2 to see what all the hype was about. All these commercials, people seem to be excited about this game coming out. And I remember putting it in and getting it started, and it was the most scary thing that I've ever seen. See, what you have to understand is this was my introduction to survival horror. I had never played a survival horror game before. I didn't even know the term survival horror, much less a horror game. You can't really count Castlevania as a horror game. So yeah, it was like, it was all freaking out. Every little turn I was making, I was like, God, I was expecting something, to come out and get me. Anyway, so got through that game, wonderful. Had a really hard time with the controls. Like I said, I'd never played a game in 3D before, so had a hard time. But once I got used to it, I fell in love with this game. It was great. Now, it wasn't until maybe a couple of years later, I was at a Hastings, I believe. Yes, it was a Hastings, and I saw this Resident Evil Director's Cut, and I thought, dude, there's a first one. There's a first one to Resident Evil 2. I thought Resident Evil 2 was the name of the game. I didn't know there was a first one. I was like, what? So I picked it up, and again, scared the shit out of me. I was like, this is great. I love this. I fell in love with the whole survival horror genre. I was like, this is awesome. And then later on, Resident Evil 3 came out, and I was like, oh yes. Short. It was short, but it was so wonderful. Anyways, I want to say I was a little bit, so many years I pass and I get a Dreamcast. again, one of the first games that I get on the Dreamcast was Resident Evil Code Veronica. And I thought this was awesome, man. This is great. For a long time, I thought this was Resident Evil 4. You know, because it was the next game, you know, that came out, I think. And I loved it. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I fell in love with Code Veronica. I thought it was a great, great game. Now, let's fast forward to the GameCube era. I finally get a GameCube, and for my birthday, I got 2 games. I ended up getting Resident Evil. Is that kind of blurry? And Resident Evil 0. Again, another game that a lot of people don't like, but I loved it. And dude, by that time, I'm completely desensitized to the whole survival horror thing, the jump scares and all that. Until this. Now, I'm gonna say that this is the original. I mean, it is the original Resident Evil remake, and this game looks so. I've never seen anything like this before. You know, never seen anything like this before. I thought, dude, this is great. The graphics, the sound, the atmosphere, everything about this game was amazing. And I felt like the way I felt when I first played Resident Evil 2. It's like scared. I love that feeling. I loved it. I think the last time I felt like that was when I think it was after this game, I can't remember, but I was playing Silent Hill 2. I played Silent Hill 1. It wasn't too bad. Silent Hill 2 really had me where I couldn't even play in the dark. I had to have the lights on when I was playing that game. But I felt the same way with this one, with the Resident Evil remake, the first one. And then, you know, later on, of course, they have Resident Evil Origins Collection. They say this is the definitive way to play, you know, this one and Resident Evil 0. You know, if you're gonna play these two, you know, I guess if you don't have a GameCube, play, you know, the PS4 version. And it's like a remake or something where they updated the graphics to HD or whatever. I haven't played this yet, but I'm sure it looks good. Anyways, so I'm like, okay, so we got, you know, Resident Evil on the GameCube, and it looked absolutely absolutely amazing. I'm thinking in my head what they could possibly do with Resident Evil 2 when it comes out on GameCube. I'm thinking, dude, it's gonna be a remake, and it's gonna look awesome, it's gonna look amazing, and I can't wait for it to come out. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And finally they come out with Resident Evil 2 on GameCube, and I'm thinking this is gonna be freaking amazing. If they made Resident Evil 1 look this good, I can't wait to see what they did with this one. Nothing. It's basically a port from the PlayStation to the GameCube. And I was like, well, that sucks. I still played it, but I was like, man, that sucks. I was expecting all these updated graphics and, you know, gameplay and everything, and no, we never got that. And then, of course, Resident Evil 3 came out on GameCube, and I don't know, I was kind of expecting, you know, well, after I saw what they did with Resident Evil 2, I was kind of expecting this just to be a port to PlayStation, and it was. I was like, well, that sucks, man. But whatever, I'm a huge fan of Resident Evil, so I bought that one as well, and I played through it. Now, here we go, man. Let me get some of these games out of the way. Here we go. A few years ago, they announced Resident Evil 2, the remake, and I thought, this is it. This is the game I've been waiting for since the GameCube era or whatever. And I gotta tell you, it did not disappoint me at all. This game was amazing. I fell in love with this game. I played it twice. I played it with Claire, and I played it with Leon. you know, both scenarios or whatever, and I thought it was brilliant. I love this game. And what was it, like a couple of years later, they announced a Resident Evil 3 remake, and of course, you know, I had to pick it up, and I thought this game was awesome. Here's the thing with this one though. Here's the thing that I really, you know, had a hard time with, and I really didn't like too much, was the whole mapping system. When you go to the map, that there for a little bit, it started confusing me. I was like, man, I don't know about this whole map thing. A little confusing. It wasn't until later on that, you know, I started getting used to like looking at the map and figuring it out. But either way, this game was really good. You know, 12 hours? Of course, it took me like 14 hours or something to finish it, because that's how I play games. It takes me a while because I go exploring everything. But yeah, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 remake, brilliant, brilliant games. Loved them. Now, this is what I'm thinking in my head. I'm thinking, all right, what's next? Code Veronica. It's going to be Code Veronica. And I was excited about that one because I really, really enjoyed, you know, Resident Evil Code Veronica. No. They announced Resident Evil 4, the remake. And I'm thinking, why? Why? You know, because in my head, you know, the GameCube version of Resident Evil 4 already looked great in my head now. It's been years and years since I played this game, but I'm thinking it looks good already. Why are you going to remake it? That's like, if, you know, why would they remake this? There's no need to remake this. It already looks absolutely amazing. And that's what I'm thinking about this one. So I'm thinking, why are you going to remake Resident Evil 4? You know, there's no need. It looks good already as it is. Oh, was I wrong? Was I wrong? You know, of course I'm gonna get Resident Evil 4 remake, and I popped it in. Dude, this game looks so good. It looks so freaking good. The graphics, there's some changes in the game. You know, I was looking at some video footage earlier on the GameCube version, and they changed. There's some stuff that they changed a lot. I'm not too. I can't. You know, I'm not that familiar. Because I did finish it, but I finished it when it first came out. And it only took me like a couple of days to finish this. And, I don't... Damn, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember... I remember finishing it, but I don't remember, you know, playing through it. You know, like I can't remember everything on Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, you know, the original Resident Evil. I can remember all those games on the PlayStation, GameCube or whatever, but I just don't remember that much on Resident Evil 4. I know I did finish it though. So when I went back and I played through Resident Evil 4 remake, there are some parts that I do remember, and there are some parts that I don't know if they're new to the game or I just don't remember them being in. I don't know. But either way, I mean, I have it on the Wii, and I don't like it on the Wii. I don't like the whole motion controls and stuff for that console. Well, for that game anyways. And then I have it on the PlayStation 2, which never played it on the PS2. As a matter of fact, I didn't even buy this game. I think a buddy of mine gave it to me. But I played this one, and I thought, man, this is great. You know, there's a lot. Like I said, they added a lot of stuff to this game that made it just absolutely brilliant. The graphics, everything was on this game was good. And the ending, there's no spoilers here. I'm not gonna give nothing away, but the ending of this game reminds me of like a action-packed movie or something. Anyways, so yeah, played through it, enjoyed it, loved the whole Resident Evil series. I'm glad they're doing the remakes. Now, what's next? Oh wait, I take that back. I haven't played Resident Evil 5. I haven't. Never played it. And I've never played Resident Evil 6. Again. I haven't. just never bothered playing it because I see my son playing it and it looks not good. Neither does Resident Evil 5. This is what I'm hoping for, though. This is what I want next. A Resident Evil Code Veronica remake. Make this happen. Make it happen, because I love this game. And I have it on, like I showed you, I have it on the Dreamcast, and I bought the 5th anniversary edition for the PlayStation 2 just because it had, you know, new footage, never before seen cutscenes on it. So, this is what I want next. I know. I'm sure there's a lot of us out there that want this next. And there's people out there that could care less about this game, but I loved it. And I'm sure there's others that loved it as well. So maybe we'll get it. We'll see what happens. But anyways, thanks for watching. And I'll see you on the next one.